Hi, my name's Mandy and welcome to my YouTube channel, What Mandy Made Next. So today is Thursday, the 27th of April 2023. It's quite cold out there, it's raining actually. So yeah, I'm tucked up in my little craft room. So usually I start with my Miniature Monday and I usually work on a little mini project. But I decided I was going to frame 3 lots of cross stitch instead, and that's because I've finally finished my Kringles. Hurrah! So yes, Kringles by Little House Needleworks. I'm so glad that that piece is finished. I started that a couple of years ago. Now I had 3 pieces of cross stitch to frame, and yeah, I decided I would frame these pieces myself. Now the problem I experienced was that no matter what shop I went to, whether it was the Range, Dunhelm, you know, all the places, Hobbycraft, where you can buy frames, I just couldn't get any frames that would fit my pieces. So I've been going into charity shops, I think in the USA you call them thrift shops, and I've been buying just the odd frame, you know, only if they've got a picture print in. If it's a watercolour, I don't like to buy that because I just haven't got the heart to rip that out. But, you know, just old pictures. And I've been picking them up for 99p sterling, so that isn't too bad. So I've got quite a few frames now. And, yeah, I thought I'm going to go for this and frame these pieces. So the first piece I framed was this one. And this is called A Day in the Life of, and it was by the Historical Sampler Company. You may recall a few vlogs back I was working on this piece. So yeah, I found this frame and I thought, yes, this will fit. So I've purchased some acid-free mount board from Hobbycraft, and I cut it down to size, and then I've cut out the mount. There was a mount already in this frame. What I've done is cut inside the mount to accommodate the cross stitch, so all the picture was in. So yeah, this is my year in the life of, and I decided to not put the family name at the bottom, but just put what Mandy made next. So at some point I am going to do a new intro for my channel, and that will be included. So yeah, this is hanging in my hallway, and yeah, I think it looks really pretty. So my next piece was this one. It was the Feast of Friendship by Blackbird Designs. Yeah, now I was after a really old-fashioned frame, but because it's rectangular in shape, I found it really difficult to find one. Now this frame, I think I've either purchased it from Dunhelm or the Range, can't remember. But I initially purchased this for some loop work well, it's like a rug work I'd completed with 3 sheep on. And that's why I bought that frame, because that would accommodate that piece. However, because I was finding it difficult to find a frame for the Feast of Friendship, I thought I would use this frame in the meantime. So I've laced it all up and framed it in this frame. So it's not what I would have chose, because to me the frame is far too modern for the piece. I do know that you can rough it up and paint it darker, but I would like to find a frame with some mouldings on it, and I think that would really set it off. But for the time being, I think it looks okay in that frame. My last piece was the Kringles by Little House Needleworks, and I'm so glad this piece is now completed because I absolutely love it. So yeah, this frame is again from a charity shop, and it's got like a tortoise shell look moulding. Now on the initial pattern of Little House Needleworks, they didn't use a mount going round the cross stitch, you know, the piece. So I didn't neither, and I think it looks fine. So yeah, I'm really happy. They're not brilliant, you know, probably not as professional as what a framer would do, but I don't think they look too bad. And anyone who's seen them say they look fine to them. So yeah, I'm quite glad that I've got these 3 pieces laced, hung, and yeah, all finished. So to lace, I used a tutorial. It's John Turner. I think he owns a frame shop in the next county actually to me. I think he's in Derby. But he got a couple of, he's got a channel on YouTube, and he got a couple of episodes where he shows you how to lace the cross stitch, you see. Now he uses a pearl cotton, a DMC, which I did purchase, but I thought it was a little expensive. So I've bought this, it's 100% cotton, it's mercerised, and yeah, it did the job. So that's what I've used. And I've got plenty of it left, so yeah. So glad all that is out the way. It took me ages, I must admit. It took me, all through, I think a couple of days, 2 or 3 days framing that. Because I was so nervous at cutting them out. I kept recutting them and, you know, and yeah. Then I kept getting my thread tangled, and anyhow, it's all done now, and yeah, I'm really pleased about that. This means I need some more cross stitch projects, and the first one I'd like to share with you is this one. It's called Fresh Lemonade, and this has been made into a pillow. It's by Primrose Cottage Stitches. So I haven't used all call for threads. I've used threads from my stash. I think there was only 2 I had in my stash what were called for in this pattern, but yeah, quite pleased with this. I'll make sure it's the right way up for you, and that's Fresh Lemonade. This is on a 32 count Belfast linen. So yeah, I've only got to do the lemons there and finish off. I think it's an E what's missing and a bit of border, and that will be completed. This was a scrap of linen left over I had in my stash, so I just overlocked. And I'm having to use a little hoop, which I purchased from Hobbycraft. Because obviously this is not going to go into a big one. The other thing you can use is you can get these little miniature, these are for the rubber, and you just peel, you just peel them off, and you can use these as little ornaments, you see, once you've finished your cross stitch. But I sometimes use these to stitch in as well, especially if I'm working on a smaller project, because these are even smaller. But this one fits in the blue ring fine. I do have a problem stitching on linen, and I have to use these Magna glasses, plus my magnifier as well, and right Magoo. So that's my Fresh Lemonade. It did make me laugh because I was watching a YouTube channel, Java Girl Stitches, and she's stitching this. She said it only takes you a day, and I thought, yes, it'll take me a month. But yeah, that's my little mini project there. The second piece of cross stitch I've picked back up. So let me show you this. This is from the Gold Collection by Dimensions. This is Twilight Calm. and it's a design by Daryl Bush. Yeah. So, yeah, I started this, oh, it must have been 13 years ago. I was in Florida and I'd run out of wool. Let me get my words right. I'd finished my knitting project I'd taken with me. So, panic, I had to go out and went to Hobby Lobby, I think it was. Or it might have been Joann's or one of those stores. And I purchased this pattern. So I started it. Now, at the time, I wasn't too proficient in cross. Well, I'm not now, but, you know, I hadn't done a lot of cross stitch. And I did what they suggested. Find the middle, mark it with a thread, and work from the middle, which I've started to do there. And I'd only got just that little piece done. And I think I've come back to England then, and I gave up the ghost with it. So I've picked this back up, and yeah, you can see the chair there. Isn't that fabulous? I love this, I really do. So I'll just give you a little comparison. Yeah. So it's this chair, isn't it, here? I think. So yeah. So I can't put it down. I like painting by numbers. I just love stitching this. I really do. And this is a 14 count Ada, which was in the kit, and it's in the ivory colourway. So like I say, with the DMC, it's not DMC, it's with the Dimensions kit, you get threads. And I've been watching some more, they call floss tubes on YouTube, and it's specifically people who stitch with dimensions. And I think one was cross stitch with Luda. I've watched Mary Rose from Stitch Bliss Corner, and I think it was Calico Whimsy. I'll put a link to their channels down below, but it was very interesting to hear what they had to say. And I love stitching with this thread. See, it's a kit, you see, and the thread in the kit, there's so many colours, but it doesn't tangle like DMC does. Or when I'm stitching with it, sometimes with DMC, especially the lighter colours, I've noticed can go a bit puffy. I can't describe it, but with these it doesn't. And I think it was Luda was saying that these threads are slightly thicker, but you get a fantastic coverage. I mean, so pleased. Now, the only thing with this kit, I'll just pop that there, is that you have some back stitch to do. And let me just show you that little lamp there. You can see that clearly, it's got back stitch. There's quite a bit of back stitching in here, and I think that's what put me off. I don't like the back stitch on cross stitch. I just think it looks like, you know, Etch-a-Sketch. I think it looks a bit Etch-a-Sketchy, sort of down and, you know. But with some of this you use a couching. So you'd lie the thread on top of the cross stitch and then you couch, and that way you'll get smoother lines. And Mary Rose was talking about couching on the cross stitch, and I thought, oh, I'm going to have a go. So yeah, I like a bit of a challenge. The only thing I would say I don't like is that on the pattern, okay, you get your pattern, it's sometimes got the black lines or lines where it show where you need to couch or do the back stitch, and it can hide sometimes the actual key of what should be in that stitch. So I think it would have been a lot more helpful if they had two patterns, one with the back stitch on but one without. But still, you know, because I like to stitch from the left hand corner. I like to start in the left and work across, and I know where I am. With this, I've started in the middle, and so I'm a little bit having to concentrate a lot more because it's not my usual way I stitch. I usually mark out a square of 100, 10 by 10, and just stitch that. I think I've only got another square to go down here, and that'll be the bottom of the picture. But I'm persevering with that. I'm just a bit concerned about this couching and how it will look. But yeah, I'm loving this so far. Absolutely beautiful. So I think while we're on the subject of cross stitch, I'll just show you what I've been working on a Thursday. And this is my mini sea beacon. It's a Heaven and Earth design. It was a picture by Jasmine Beckett Griffiths, a painting, and it's been charted by Michelle Saeta. So last time I spoke to you, I'd got this far. Now I'm this far. And yeah, here we are. So as you can see, I've been working on this small area here, and you can just see now a ship in the background there. So I finished the bottom of the wings, the light and the ship, and I think this will be working on the sea. And then I've got, say, to there to start and work down, and that'll be the edge then. I think it's only going to go to there. But yeah, I love that piece. I really do. I love working on that. So that's all my cross stitch. So let me just have a quick drink. So just listen at my chest. I've had to go for, because I was breathless, I was getting concerned, I've been to see the GP. Now I am asthmatic, so I thought, oh, my inhalers aren't working, and maybe I need either a different dosage or a different inhaler. And when I went a few weeks ago, he put me straight on to a course of steroids. And he also wondered if my weight was a problem. He said no. I mean, it is a problem to me, but he said no, it was definitely respiratory. So they've done blood tests for my heart, and he said he was going to refer me for spirometry tests and a chest x-ray. I said righto. So I've been and had the blood test, and then I contacted the department for the spirometry, and this was a drive-in. Whatever next? So basically I had to drive up to the hospital. It's the one where I trained, actually, in Crewe, Leighton. So I drove up, and outside there was like a tent. It was like a structure, a tent, and there was 2 parking bays for cars, and someone already was there, and I just drove in the next bay. And then they came to me and just wind the window down, took my details, and then they come back with a laptop. Well, it looks like a laptop, and the apparatus they needed for the test. And then they put these, you wind your car window down, obviously, you just sit there, and they put these things on your nose, and then you have to do this breathing and different rates and things. And then the test was over and I drove off, and I thought, whatever next? I thought I was going to be there for half a day on a treadmill doing all these tests and having oxygen saturations and all sorts being monitored. But that was the spirometry test, the drive-in. So then I rang up for my x-ray, and they said, oh, we haven't got you down. So that meant I had to contact my GP. And I thought, well, I'll wait till the afternoon for that job, because getting through in the morning, you got Bob Hope. Anyhow, I rang in the morning and sorted that out, and then I was in IKEA on Sunday, and the x-ray department rang me, contacted me and said, can you come along this afternoon? I thought, well, I'm in IKEA. So I arranged to go on Tuesday. So I went along. My appointment was at 1:45. I thought, well, I'll go there about 1:30 because getting a parking space in a hospital, you know, it's really difficult. But I got one straight away, went in, booked in, sat down, and then a couple of minutes later I was called for the x-ray, and they give me, you know, they give you a gown. And what did I do? Turned up in a dress. I mean, chest x-ray, I'm a nurse, why didn't I think trousers and top? So of course I had to go into a changing room, take my dress off and my top part of my garments and put this gown on, which never fastens at the back, does it? So I had to tie my dress round my waist. Oh dear, I don't know. Anyhow, my appointment was at 1:45, and at 2:00 I was driving back. So I thought, that's not bad. So yeah, that was all sorted and done. So I just got to wait for the results. So when I initially went to the GP, he put me on a course of steroids and put me on, oh, I forgot what the tablet's name is, but it's like for allergens and things. You take that one at night. So the steroids, within a day, oh, I felt so much better. My chest was clear, no problems breathing, and yeah, I felt wonderful. I had no aches and pains, and it was absolutely like a wonder drug. And yeah, now I'm on this allergen tablet, and I don't take it every night because sometimes I don't need it, but I'm just wondering if it's because there's so much fabric and I'm working in fabric and dust and, you know, wool, whether, you know, sometimes that's having an effect on my chest. Plus, I've always worked in industry as well. So, my first job when I left school was in a sewing factory. So that can't be good for you, all the fibres. And then I've also worked in food industry with flour. So, yeah, that's also probably not good for my chest neither. So, there we go. So, yeah, see what they say. Well, I'm not too worried, but it's been ongoing for a long time. And I'll take a tablet tonight and see how I go. But, yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it? Right, so talking of wool and stuff, let's start with what I've been working on a Wednesday. And I've finished this little cardigan for my grandson. If you remember, and I'll show some photographs because it's coming up rather dark now. But if you remember, I was working on a pattern from the Ambud book of sweaters, and it was a saddle shoulder construction. So basically, let me put my hand in there and you can see this is the top of the shoulder and that's the saddle. So I do love how her instructions for the button and button bands are, because they just sit so perfect. They really do. So this is knit in a garter stitch, and like I say, I've used the saddle shoulder construction. You pick your own stitching, whatever you want to use. I've decided this garter stitch, and I used a 2x2 rib for the ribbing. This is how much I've got left. I perhaps could have done another row or two on the bands, but I was getting a little bit concerned. I don't like plain yarn chicken. But this is a Bergère de France wool, and it's in the Ideal range, and the colour is Persan. It's coming up rather bright there, but this is like what I call an Air Force blue. The buttons I've purchased, I'll pop a picture in because you can't really see them here. But they are 4 holes, which really are for coats. It's 2 holes for other garments and 4 holes for coats and jackets. But I just like the buttons. I thought they would look really nice on this cardigan. So that is that one completed. So my next project I've been working on is this one. It's Peter Pan. It's this little dress, and I was knitting this for my granddaughter for, well, not Christmas, but for the winter. So I'll show you the progress. So now I've knitted all the skirt of the pattern. This lovely, it's like a fair isle, you see. Well, some people call it stranded. The top here, you rib, and then you turn it over and you slip stitch in. So this is double. And then you've got to sew the buttons on there, and then this is the buttonhole band. So I like that idea, because sometimes when you get knitted, you know, tops for little ones, I mean, she's 3, but they have got larger heads, haven't they, toddlers? And sometimes, you know, pulling them over the heads can be quite stressful. Whereas this, it's just a button opening, which I prefer. If I knit this pattern again, I wouldn't knit, I wouldn't cast off the shoulder seams as suggested in the pattern. Because although this wool is soft, with the metallic in it, it's a little bit stiffer fabric. And I found the shoulder seams are really bugging me actually when I feel them. So I think if I knit this again, I would pop the shoulder stitches onto safety pins and graft them together. Far neater. But there we go. All what's got left to do on this piece is to sew the sleeves together. I'm using a mattress stitch and then insert them into the dress. So let me tell you about the wool. It's an acrylic. They're both James Brett. So this one's called Twinkle, and it is an emerald green colourway. This one, although it's got the sparkles in, this one's called Baby Twinkle, and this one is in the cream colourway. But they're both double knitting, and yeah, this is how much I've got left. So for the contrast colour, I had to buy 100 grams because only came in 100 grams, you see. So I've got this much left, and I've purchased 400 grams of this Twinkle, and I've got quite a bit left of that. So I'll be using these for other projects. But there we go. That's that little project nearly finished. So my next project I've been working on is my spring frost blanket. Now I haven't brought it up to show you because I have only worked on a few of the stripes. But, oh, I've got it upside down, sorry. But this was a pattern by Lucy from Attic 24, and it was originally a crochet along. There's 7 sections in it. I'm on section 5 still, and hopefully next time I speak to you I'll be starting section 6. So that's that. Friday I usually like to participate in some sewing, but I needed some more project bags. So this is what I made on Friday, and I love it. Can't wait to use this. So this is the project bag, and I've edged it in this lovely green fabric and lined it, and then I just use a little ribbon and popped 2 little tags on there because they only fray, don't they? And yeah, It's all boxed, like I say, at the bottom, and I just love it. I think it looks really pretty. So that's what I made on Friday. So I've also making a commemorative baby quilt for a family friend, and I'll pop a picture in of that. So basically I've just got to baste it now, and I've covered up the middle label there because obviously there are some details on there which she hasn't given me permission to share. So yeah, I've struggled with this a little bit, getting this finished, but I'm determined that later on tonight I shall actually quilt this up and make a binding for it. So I'll be able to show you the finished result next week. Well, next time I vlog. It might be next week or it might be the week after. But yeah, I've used the Disappearing 9 patch. I think I'm going to quilt in between the white squares, but I'll show you what I mean when I share some of the footage with you. But yeah, I just want to get this finished now and off to the owner. Right, I think that's it now. I think that's everything I need to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Now, in the meantime, if you haven't subscribed, could you please subscribe and leave me comments? It's very nice to see some of the lovely comments I get. It gives me the impetus to carry on, you see, with this channel. So, like I say, the more interaction I get, the higher up in the algorithm I get, and there's more chance then that they will suggest this channel to other people who watch YouTube for crafting. So, until I see you next time, bye, enjoy your crafting week, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.